This presentation is going to cover preparing for graduate school in a general sense. Not all psychology majors end up in a psychology-related field, so this is going to cover grad school for other fields as well. If you have questions about going towards a pre-health or pre-law field, be sure to talk to pre-health, pre-law advising. Their information's at the end of the video. Majority of students do end up in a career option rather than graduate school, so be sure to watch our career video as well. There are some questions you need to find out before considering graduate school. One is, do you need a graduate degree for the career you have in mind? If so, what are those graduate programs that can help you towards that field? Are they an accredited program? Is accreditation even necessary? Once you've found some graduate programs, you need to find out what is needed to apply. Are there prerequisite courses? Are there standardized exams like the GRE? Do you need letters of recommendation? And if so, who should they be coming from? Do you need to write a personal or goal statement essay, or is some other form of writing needed? And do you need a resume, or is it a curriculum vitae? Is there an interview going to be needed? And how are you going to pay for graduate school? All these questions will be answered in the video, but you'll find out specifics from the graduate programs that you're looking at. The first thing that graduate programs look at are your grades and GRE scores. For a majority of master's programs, your GPA needs to be at least a 3.0 and a 3.5 or higher for doctoral programs. The higher the better to be competitive. But what if you don't have this GPA? Then I recommend you ask a professional in the field to learn about your options. Maybe some work in the career would help, or maybe there's other graduate programs at private schools, they're going to be more accepting of your GPA. Now about the GRE, the Graduate Record Exam. There is a general exam that most graduate programs are looking for. It covers quantitative reasoning, qualitative reasoning, and analytical writing. The general scores that most programs are looking for a master's program are about a 300. For a PsyD, closer to a 305, and a PhD, higher than that, probably like a 315. You can find more information about the GRE on the GRE website, ets.org/GRE. There's also a psychology subject test. Not a lot of psychology programs need this, but maybe a few will. And the psychology subject test is going to cover experimental, social psychology, methods, and methodology. Scores to strive for are a 577 for a master's and a 633 for a PhD. You can take the GRE general test once every 21 days, but no more than 5 times within a continuous rolling 12-month period. This does apply to you even if you've canceled your scores on a previously taken test. But hopefully you don't need to retake the test more than twice, as this can look poorly on your graduate admissions. Plus, it can be expensive. The exam will take about 4 hours to complete. The scoring scale per section is from 130 to 170. GRE scores do last for 5 years from the test date, so you could always take the test sooner than later. The current price to take the exam is listed on the GRE website. Right now, it's about $200. You can pay this price even if you cancel or if you don't have proper identification the day of, so be prepared. There is financial assistance for taking the GRE exam, so check with UCF Financial Aid Office. Be sure you're studying for the GRE. There are test prep courses with companies like Kaplan, who also has a free practice test to help you out, captest.com, and Princeton Review, UCF Continuing Education, and Magoosh. Kaplan, Princeton Review, and UCF Continuing Education are on or around campus. Magoosh is online, so it's considerably cheaper than the other 3. Kaplan and Princeton Review can be pricier, but they might have a deal that if you don't get the scores you want, you can retake their class for free. You could also just study on your own, maybe use a practice book. ETS, the company that makes the GRE, even has a practice book to help you out. You could treat studying like a class. Maybe in one semester, you're going to study every Tuesday and Thursday from 6 to 9, or whatever schedule works for you. Be sure to give yourself plenty of time in advance to study and have time to retake the exam if needed. Most graduate programs are going to ask for letters of recommendation, and they may specify where those letters need to come from. They should definitely come from professionals and professors relevant to your field that know you and can vouch for your ability to succeed in graduate school. Most psychology graduate programs request that 2 come from faculty members. Then the 3rd can come from a supervisor, from an internship, work, or other professional relationship. Ask your letter writers in advance, in person as much as possible, this question. Do you think you're able to write me a strong letter of recommendation? Hopefully their answer is yes, and if so, then you get to provide your letter writers with this information. Give them instructions on how to complete their letters. Is this going to be electronic or mail-in? What are the deadlines? What materials do they need to send this in? Be sure to provide your resume or CV, your degree audit, and at least a draft of your personal statement. It's recommended that you waive your right to view your letters. Also, don't forget to write your letter writers a thank you letter. They don't need to provide this for you. This is a service to you. If you're mailing in a letter, be sure to provide a stamped pre-addressed envelope to make it easier on your letter writers. Most graduate programs are going to ask that you turn in a personal or goal statement essay. Follow the instructions listed on the program's applications. Some programs don't have instructions, so you can follow these general guidelines. Your essay is going to be about 2 to 3 pages, double-spaced, on why you want to apply to that program. Write out what you've accomplished to confirm that this is the field for you. Also, what sets you apart? What makes you unique from these other applicants? Who do you want to do research with, or what kind of experience are you looking forward to? And what is the vision of your future? Where do you see yourself after you graduate with this program? Once you've written a few drafts, have everybody critique it. You've got family, friends, mentors, even your letter writers. You also have the Career Services office on campus and the Writing Center on campus to help you out. So make an appointment with them so they can review it with you as well. Graduate programs are going to have you submit a resume or a curriculum vitae, CV, and some programs may have an interview. If you're applying to a doctoral program, you'll adjust your resume to be more like a CV, a curriculum vitae. Most programs will have an interview to make sure you are a good fit, and you'll want to make sure they're a good fit for you as well. UCF Career Services can help you with your resume as well as your interview. Be sure to make an appointment with them through their program called Handshake so that you can learn about writing a CV and, of course, practice your interview skills. The big question is, how are you going to pay for graduate school? PhD programs usually have full or partial funding packages with your acceptance, but this makes these programs a lot more competitive. You could potentially come in with your own funding from a grant that you've received through research you've done to help you get accepted. There's also other scholarships and fellowships. Check out that school's financial website and talk with that graduate program, or you can find your own scholarships and fellowships. This is free money to you, so definitely pursue this. There's also assistantships or jobs on campus that could help you with your tuition. Graduate assistantships, teaching assistantships, and research assistantship positions are usually about 20 hours a week, and you get a stipend, and a lot of the times your tuition is going to be waived. This could definitely help you with paying for your graduate degree. There's also job benefits. Sometimes if you're working full-time for a company, they'll help you go back to school. They might pay for your degree and help you work less hours. If all else fails, there are student loans. There is currently the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program, in that if you're working for a state, government, or nonprofit agency, after 120 minimum payments, your loans might be forgiven. If you've got more questions about graduate school, be sure you're talking with a professional that's in your field. Find yourself a mentor that can guide you through this process. If you're going to a health field or law school, talk with UCF Pre-Health Pre-Law Advising. You can also come in and talk to the Advising Center or email us at psychadvising@ucf.edu.